Hey. Yeah. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Whoop. Started over for some reason. All right. That was a fake out. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Political Spotlight. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Hey, it's Sunday. Sunday, October 15th, 2023. Welcome. Let me see here. I've almost got everything ready to go. Not like I didn't know we were doing this at 9 o'clock. It's 9:07. I'm like 10 minutes late. 7 after, and I'm 10 minutes late. All right. I'm in a just whatever kind of mood, which means we must be getting closer to the Tuesday, November 7th, 2023 election day. Just kind of one of those moods. I tell you, this has been one of the strangest elections, folks. This has been one of the quietest, weirdest, backwards, heaviest, depressing, exciting, non-exciting elections of all time. And it's kicking my butt. I got to be honest. I don't know. I would much rather people be clawing and kicking and screaming and screaming, and I hate saying that because it that feeds into the naysayers. That feeds into we'll talk about that here in a moment. But I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna tell you where we're at, what my thoughts are. There's a couple of things. Hello there, Alva. Hello, Paula. Hello, Joey. Troy, Eric, Darla. I'm having Muncie. We're having a ball. I try to look for stuff that says that all the time, like old advertisement stuff, and that was something that they must have not liked very well. That whole "we're having a ball" thing, so they scratched that from the zeitgeist. It's just not there. I'm glad you know it. Muncie, we're having a ball. That's perfect. Hey, if you're here and you're new, if you're new to the channel, if you've never been here before, if you're watching this for the first time, welcome. I don't know how you got here. It's kind of strange. Please do all the YouTube things. You can find them all right here. If you have trouble and you don't know what those things are, where have you been for the last 20 years? Share the show with everyone you know. That's all that matters. Hello, Catherine. And I know you guys got some weird crap going on down in your neck of the woods with lapel stuff still going on. You had that recent corner thing happen where the guy that literally beat Catherine out for corner literally just went and told, could you imagine sitting at your house? You're sitting at your house. You're sitting at your house, minding your own business on a day through the week, and you get a knock at the door. Knock, 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 knock. And you you're mixing up some cookies, or you're watching The View, or whatever it is that you do on your day. If you're watching The View, you deserve whatever comes next. But you go and you answer the door. You answer the door, and your husband's an idiot, and he's like, "Hey, it's the man from around the corner." But your wife's like, "No, it's the corner." And that's never a good idea. That's never a good thing. It's never a good day when the corner's knocking on the door. When you get that call from the corner, and they say, "Hey, your family member is dead." And you're like, "Oh my God! What in the world?" and you fall to your knees and you pray and you think that's horrible and you go into shock and everything that happens. They show you a dead body, they show you a picture, and it's as nice as it can be. They try to get you to identify this, and you identify it or whatever, and you say, yeah, that looks like it's him. It's kind of, nobody likes looking at it, so they kind of look away and they look whatever. They tell you that this is your dead kid dead family member. And then like 2 days later, they're like, we lied. I mean, listen. Seriously? That's probably like one of the best things, I guess, that could happen. I mean, it's better than like the other way. It's better to I guess that's better than finding out there's another person that's dead and thinking, well, we dodged a bullet. And then 2 days later, find out, oh no, it wasn't that person. It's my family member. I mean, that would be horrible. This is a tragic situation all around, folks. And I'm not going to say that severe accidents and mix-ups can't happen, but that's a position and a situation where those type of things can't happen, should not happen. They should do everything possible to make sure that cannot happen and does not happen. So coming up, we'll have Catherine on and we'll talk about all of that. We'll talk about everything that's going on. We've got a couple days still until the vote in Lapel on the 30th. I'm going to try to attend that. So we've got a couple things going on. We got a big week ahead of us this week, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the Muncie City Council meeting tomorrow, a special city council meeting. It's the Muncie City Council meeting. It's a specially called meeting where they're going to wrap up the budget and vote. Of course, we're now 3 weeks out from the first meeting of the month, and the meeting where half of the city council determined that they hate the Muncie firemen and they want to see them all dead. Of course, that didn't happen. All they did was they did their jobs. They tabled a resolution that called for spending $9 million, $8 million on one firehouse. They said, yeah, maybe we need it, but we need some more facts first. So let's just table this. It was tabled, and we have the likes of the Muncie Mayor, Dan Ridenour, Aaron Clark, and Rose Selvey saying the other side doesn't like the firemen. How dare them do this? Yet Rose Selvey is the president of the committee, and she's in charge of calling the committee and having this other information presented to the full council. So I don't understand why she's not done that yet. She could have done that anytime in the last 3 weeks. I am openly calling for her to call the meeting. Call the meeting, Ro. Call the meeting. I don't understand what you're waiting for. Are you waiting for the Republicans that don't like you to give you the news, for you to ferret around them and say, oh, I'm here, I'll do whatever you want, please just tell me what to do, I'll do whatever you want? So I don't know what she's doing. Call the meeting or quit bitching about the other people. You're delaying your feet. You're dragging the meeting now. How dare you state into the newspaper that you wouldn't do anything to make the firemen spend another night in this house. Yet. You've not called the committee meeting yet. Why is that? Are you playing politics with the firemen? And we have the mayor. I'm not going to say who. My dad dated this girl one time long ago, and she had a daughter. And that daughter told us one time I was going to work I worked with my dad, and I was going to work with him in the summer, and maybe we had already got to work, because at this time I lived on my own, and I drove myself. But maybe what happened is we all got to work, and I was going to do something with my father. And before we went to do it, what we needed to do was we needed to swing by his house and pick up his girlfriend's daughter and take the daughter to daycare. And when we picked the little girl up, we were taking her to daycare, and we were asking her about her day and stuff. And she said that she had lots of friends. And we were like, oh, that's cool. You know, what, you like playing with them, whatever? And she said, yeah. She said she was going to make some more friends that day. And we were like, oh, yeah, cool. How are you going to do that? And she said she kicks people. That's how she makes them her friends. She asks them if they want to be her friend. And if they say no, she kicks them. And she continues kicking them until they want to be her friend. And just to know the girl and to know her mom, that made absolute sense. That's how these people were. Horrible little girl. She was a mean little girl when she was little. She turned into a mean adult. Her mom was a horrible person. Just absolutely just mean all the way around. I feel like Dan Ridenhour must have passed that woman in the hallway at some point and learned that same type of got that same kind of understanding. He's running for election. He's running for re-election. must have been. It must have been. Because if my dad was thinking clearly, he would have never got with this woman, but she must have kicked him into submission or something. I don't know. But no, Dan Ridenhour very much does the same thing. He's like, I'm running for re-election, and if you dare question me, I'm going to beat you into submission. He doesn't go out and ask you kindly for your vote and tell you why he should be reelected and tell you why he's done all of these good things and why he loves the city of Muncie and how he wants to continue doing these good things. He tells you his spiel, gives you a shtick, and then if you question that, he then beats you. They're not nice. He and his team, neither one are nice. They're very combative. Like Sproles, sheriff of the county. Sheriff of the county. And, you know, once you become the sheriff after the election, you're not a Republican sheriff running a Republican race for sheriff. You are the elected sheriff running to represent everyone in the community. And when you call certain people in your community trash and you look down on other members of the community, say black people in the community, you know, I don't know. It's a new spin on the Kenny Rogers song. Exact same thing. It means the same thing. You know, the old song used to be Coward of the County. And now it's sheriff of the county. It means the same thing, coward. In Henry County, the current sheriff is a coward, and that's the reason. That new take on the old Kenny Rogers song. But I think all of the extra visits to the park are the workers building the splash. I get it. The one and only. That makes sense. The spike. How did we not think of this? The spike in the people going to the park are not park users. They're not citizens of Muncie using. See there, Eric. Have a good.
We definitely dropped the ball on that one. I can't believe we didn't think of that.
Oh my God. Yes, that yeah. Yeah, Brandon, where have you been? Oh. That's so sad. I'm so sad we did not think about that. That's hilarious. I bet we can show a map of actual park visits plus the people going to the parks to build the splash pads and show how that data correlates with one another. That's hilarious. No, it got moved, Jackie. It got moved. There was, and it got moved to later in the week. Let me look here on the old calendar we got pulled up. No, so here's the deal. There's a Muncie City Council meeting tomorrow, and it will be quick. So that meeting will be live streamed right here on this channel. Then after that said meeting, I will be live at 9 p.m. straight out of the gate at 9 p.m., 9:05. We will do our interview with Norma Norman in Squared. She will join us for tomorrow's first half of the show. Then in the back half of the show, we'll talk about what happened in the meeting, talk about the budget, and talk about other things. And then tell you what we've got going on. Then Tuesday, we have a candidate scheduled. And Wednesday, we have a candidate scheduled. And we're still waiting to see if Thursday is going to work for another one or not. So this week is going to be action-packed, fun-filled. Now, next week is when I'm going to do. Next week, we'll probably do 2 candidate interviews, maybe per show, because I know at least the first half of the week, I'm working on getting all of the Winchester people done. Charlize. Let me see. With Winchester, we're looking at. 7 candidates. We'll just see. We'll see how we'll have to do that. We'll see. We'll get it all done. We're still doing good with time. We're still doing good with time. No. There are none. This is just about as good a time as any to do this. I gave the deadline as 11:59 on Tuesday, October 10th. I gave the deadline as of 11:59 on Tuesday, October 10th. But I will say, I was for whatever reason ignorantly going to allow them any other chance. But no. So the lot of you know, Ridenauer, Munson, Green. And now, in all fairness, Nick Talby still has the opportunity because he has been gone. Nick Talby is for District 3. Nick Talby has been gone. And I told him that I would allow him to let me know when he got back. He got back, according to my notes, he got back on the 13th. So that would have been Thursday. And I have not spoke with him, so I will make it a point tomorrow to get in contact with him to find out. So he's the only one that there's a question mark with. So that you know, so the people of Muncie know. Dan Ridenauer is a no. Munson is a no. Green is a no. Josh Talby is a no. Marshall is a no. Kyle Temple is a no. Clark is a no. Basham is a no. Now, the mood I am in is because I see her. She's here. Yeah, there's no one. Yeah, I see Jackie. There's no one scheduled for tonight. Ridenauer, Munson, Green, Josh Talby, Marshall, Kent, Temple, Clark, Basham are all Republicans. Of those Republicans, Ridenauer, Munson, Green, Marshall, Clark are all currently sitting in their seats. Talby, Temple, Basham are not in their seats, but they're going to do whatever the others do. Nick Talby is the only one that is still a question mark. Yes, I do owe you lunch, Charlize. That's hilarious. And I got to be honest. I'm in a pissy mood because what this does is this allows the detractors. Yoko, no, they're not even phoning it in. They've said, F it, we don't even need to phone it in. We cut the phone line. We're not answering the door. We're not going out into the sunshine. Don't ask us any more questions. We'll see you after the 7th. That's what they're saying. You know what they're doing? They show up at the Lincoln Day dinner and they pat themselves on the back while they're rubbing each other on the front, and they tell everybody they got it. Ridenauer has an event. And Munson and Green and the Talbys and Marshall and Temple and Clark and Rowe and Bradshaw all go to him. And then Munson has an event, and Ridenauer and Green and Talby and Marshall and Temple and Rowe and Clark and Bradshaw all go to it. And then the Talbys hold an event, and Ridenauer and Munson, and that's the thing. They are all going to each other's. They're all going to each other's events, and they're telling each other that they're doing a great thing, and they're campaigning for each other, and they're doing a great thing. And they're not. They're not. Sure they will be. But let's be honest, that's not just a Republican event either. Sadly, Sarah Gullion on the Democrat side said the same thing. Sarah Gullion said she would be happy to talk to me election night or after she won. But she saw there was no value in interviewing with me. Then she got incensed when I said, well, then I hope you don't win. There's no value in you being a candidate if you're not willing to talk to everyone that's willing to talk with you and get your voice out there. So District 4, I guess we're rooting for the roof to cave in. Maybe District 5 and District 3 can eat that up and we can become 5 districts. If I were a candidate for office and not an incumbent, if I were a candidate and an incumbent, I'd be talking to everybody. I would talk to everybody. And so often what you get is you get the Republicans saying, no, I don't want to do that because that's put on by Democrats. What? It's put on by Democrats. You're a Republican. Aren't those the people that you want to try to convince? Aren't those the people that you want to try to convince? You mean to tell me, as your Republican beliefs, you can't walk into the Lion's Den and defend your... I could proudly walk into Democrat headquarters or any Democrat event and argue my points. I could gladly walk into the Republican side and argue my points, or the Libertarian side, or any other side. Yeah, the only Republican that interviewed with me is Andrew Pop. Marshall and the rest of them are no-goes. Annie, that's probably very true. That's a very true statement. They're saying that because they know citizens of Muncie are dumb enough to vote for them for straight ticket. Well, that's that. And the thing is, what they're doing, and I don't know if this was a mandated said word to mouth, word to ear type of thing, or if this is just kind of they stuck their heads together and they got this through osmosis. But I think what their belief is, shut up, don't stir the pot, don't say anything, don't get out of line, and Ridenauer will carry us to victory. Steve Craig did a magnificent interview. I hope he never changes. I hope he stays exactly like he is and was. He's not overly polished. He's not overly produced. Looks like he's really been busting his ass, working really hard. Looks like he's kind of got some dark circles under his eyes. Look, I got dark circles under my eyes. I look like a gravedigger because I'm burning the candle at both ends. So does he. I appreciate that. I can understand that. He doesn't look tanned and well rested and all powdered and all put together. It doesn't look like he's got, $600 worth of makeup that he just put on. It looks like he is a hardworking man who is a husband and a father who's out there putting on a whole nother new job to his life already. And it looks like he's busting his butt. Robinson is scheduled to interview. Robinson's interview will be Wednesday at 9 p.m. Robinson is... The Democrats are interviewing. Listen. This is how it goes. In 2019, there was a Democrat mayor who was in office who was a lame duck, meaning he wasn't running for office. So a new Democrat or a new Republican was going to take office. The Democrats were told not to interview with me, but some still did, and I give those credit that did. Republicans were all beating down my door to interview with me. Ridenauer interviewed with me 3 times. Munson interviewed with me once. Ralph Smith interviewed with me. Troy interviewed with me. Troy Ingram. Ray Dudley. Oh, he's a Democrat. Who was the Scott Peloche interviewed with me, who was running against Dudley. Polk interviewed with me. For the love of God. Polk interviewed with me. Polk. The Democrats were told not to, and some of them didn't, some of them did. Now, 4 years into the future, the Republicans are in charge, and they're now told not to interview with me. And they're not. They're not. And except for Andrew Pop. And I got to give him credit. And the Democrats are interviewing. So, it is what it is. It is how it is. What I hate about this is you've got people like the Mary Stilts of the world, the Mike Joneses of the world, and the hangers-on, the never-was, the has-beens, the wannabes, the oranges when we're talking about the rest of being apples, whatever, are saying, oh, look, it's the losers interviewing with him, and it's the smart people not interviewing with him. And whatever, just whatever. If that's what you believe, if the citizens of Muncie are buying that, if the citizens of Muncie can look at what's going on and look at what Ridenauer's doing and say, we're okay that he's not willing to talk and be transparent, be open, and they want to vote for him in again, and he is the mayor again in 4 years, or for the next 4 years, so be it. See you, Alva. Have a good night, brother. Did you get a job? What you tune out and watch the next day always. Did something happen? Did you have a life? Did you get married? Were you already married? Call me tomorrow, Alva. I hope you have a good night's sleep, brother. Take care. Good night. That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Catherine. The bottom line is, it all comes out in the wash. If this is who Muncie wants, listen, you get the government you deserve. If the citizens of Muncie allow this November election day to come and pass, and they only have 11% turnout, 9% voter turnout, 16% voter turnout, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. If that's what we allow, because we choose to not be involved and not do anything, then we get what we get. I want to show you something someone sent to me. Let me see where she sent this to. A good friend of mine, Sarah Beach, sent this to me yesterday. This is what economic development looks like. Kokomo is getting 2 companies? Or is that one? Yeah, 2 different companies. Stellantis and Samsung EDI have announced a plan to invest 3.2 billion in building a second. Oh, it's two different companies building one. I get it. It's they're building one thing. Invest 3.2 billion in building a second EV battery plant in Kokomo, Indiana. Governor Eric Holcomb shared the news Wednesday morning. Indiana's economy is on a roll, said Governor Holcomb. Today's commitment from Stellantis and Samsung SDI will double the capital investment. The new jobs created and the impact this joint venture will have on Kokomo and the state of Indiana for decades to come. This decision puts Hoosiers squarely at the center of innovating and developing the future of mobility and catalyzing Indiana's leadership position in tomorrow's global economy. The facility will be the joint venture's second Star Plus Energy gigafactory in Kokomo to support this growth. The companies plan to create 1,400 new high-wage jobs in north central Indiana, growing its total planned workforce to 2,800 jobs. The second plant will be built adjacent to the first one, which is scheduled to open in 2025. The second plant is slated to open in 2027. Our battery ecosystem is the foundation of our electrification strategy, and our great partners, Samsung SDI and the state of Indiana and the city of Kokomo, have created a compelling case for locating our sixth gigafactory in Kokomo, said Mark Stewart, Stellantis COO North America. The BEVs coming to North American brand play an important role in our drive to offer clean, safe, affordable mobility and for all to achieve the bold goal of carbon net zero by 2038. All right, we're getting into like all this weirdness with electric cars and stuff. Don't know exactly that I'm there, but look, this is economic development, folks. Why is the city of Muncie not doing things like this? And look, Kokomo's using organized labor and all of that. I bet there are people in Kokomo that are working. Their feet are on the ground. Men are getting up in Kokomo and driving 10 minutes to build to the factory to build this. What's the mayor doing? No, Annie. How dare you, Annie? We need more apartments at the Sportsplex. We need more apartments. They need to find a way to clean that ground out there at Chevy and build apartments on Chevy. They need to clean the ground at Borg Warner and build apartments. We need to dig up the dead bodies over at Elm Ridge and build apartments there. Hell, to hell with it. Just build apartments over the dead bodies. We need apartments wherever you live. We need to kick your ass out of your homes and all of your neighbors, and we need to tear down those houses to build apartments. We need more fast food on restaurants on McGalliard. Yeah, Charlize, I remember that. Fair Oaks Farms. Let's look that up and find out what's going on with that. Ah. Fair Oaks Farms. Yeah, no, yeah. Well, this is the thing. Maybe Popeyes can buy the car wash and put it in there. Opening Charlize's chicken legs next to Raising Cane's. I just... For the longest time, I have said on here, I wonder if Dan Ridenhour is an evil genius or is an imbecile. And after the last 4 years, I have now come to the understanding maybe he's not doing any of this on purpose. I don't think he's that smart. I think he is an imbecile. I think he falls into this stuff backwards, head first, roll over, forwards, sideways, jumping out of airplanes. And no matter where he lands in the worst spot possible. He's an evil imbecile. That's probably true. And the thing is, I'm going to say again something that I said a while back. A friend of mine told me that the problem is that Dan has is as mayor, he's supposed to be open and honest and willing to communicate with us. As economic development director, you sometimes have to make deals and be in the background and talk with people and have non-disclosures and do all of that. Those two jobs put together have wildly differing objectives and ways that they run. And this person I was talking to said, maybe he would be a good mayor if he was not also the economic development director. That those two positions put him in conflict of what his promise to the citizens of Muncie were. And I think about that more and more and more. And I think there is really a point to that. I think if he would leave the economic development to someone who had half of a brain, maybe it would leave him the ability to communicate better than he does. And that's exactly right, Annie. He has closed off City Hall. That tells you everything you need to know about him. Absolutely. Since City Hall was built, after 9/11, after all of the terrorist things, after everything that's happened in the city of Muncie, anything that's ever happened, City of Muncie has always been an open building with which the citizens of Muncie could walk around and could engage with their officials, could engage with the departments in which the city needed to engage with. Now you can't get in the front door in the vestibule without them asking you what you're doing. It is closed off. You cannot get to the third floor. You cannot get to the second floor. Yeah, Annie. Listen, they have meetings on the second floor. I don't like answering questions when I go into a meeting. I went to City Hall the other day to go to the Board of Works, and they wanted me to tell them where I was going to go in there. I said, I ain't doing this. Check me, make sure I don't have any knives or guns, and let me walk on. And they sat down and got the hell out of my way. Michael Goodman, are they afraid of someone checking on their records? Absolutely, they're afraid of that. Absolutely, they're afraid of that. They're afraid of their constituents. Specifically, and I'm going to say this to all of the people of color that are watching, and I have a large contingency of people in Muncie's Black community that watch, and I want to thank you for that. Listen, I was sitting talking. I had a couple of my Black viewers call me the other day. People I consider my friends. They called me when I was at my grandparents' house, and I was laughing and joking with them. And I had them on speakerphone, and I was like talking with them, and my grandparents were involved, and we were all just laughing and talking. And it's just, I love the people that watch this. I'm telling you, for the people that hate on me, for the people that dog me and say all of this stuff, like, people oftentimes ask me, like, does it bother you? Does it get to you? And somebody, all this shit that people say, like, people always ask me, like, and I'm like, no, it does not. It does not get to me in the least. It does not get to me in the least bit. I don't. First of all, I've always had the belief that you've got to give a damn about somebody for them to be able to hurt you. If I don't know you, I don't care about you, we don't have any interaction, and you're just basing something off a 30-second clip you've seen or something you've heard, and you're cutting me down or saying this, and we don't know each other, I don't care who you are. You don't matter to me. And you can tell me I'm the greatest person in the world and it has very little meaning, or you can tell me I'm the worst person in the world and it has very little meaning. Now, if my grandmother were to tell me that I was a piece of shit, that would probably bother me. But I will tell you what bothers me. What's really got to me this time, Mike Jones doing what Mike Jones does not bother me. It does not bother me. What I'm having a hard time dealing with this time around is I hate people expressing wrong information. I hate when people get wrong information and spread it. That's what bothers me. The fact that Mike Jones gets on and says, look at Kristopher Bilbrey talking like he's going to ruin Ridenhour's career. He ain't nobody. That stuff does not bother me. But the wrong information that Mike has in there, and that the fact that somebody might hear something that Mike says and might take not information about me, but information about the officials or the city, the stuff that Mike gets wrong. Like, it's like, in the movie, when you go watch a movie and you're sitting there in the movie and you watch a scene happen in the movie, and you're watching the man and the woman, and the woman breaks up with the guy because she thinks that he did X, but because you have been watching it, he didn't do X, and he's getting a bunch of crap. And then later in the movie, they get back together. But I always think, wait a minute. Did she ever find out he didn't do what she originally thought? Like, I think about stuff like that. Did that ever resolve? That's like a plot hole for me. Did that ever resolve? Like later when they were sitting on the couch in a scene that you don't see in the movie, did he go, oh, by the way, I didn't do that thing that you thought I did? You know what I mean? I always wonder if, like, did that get resolved? Because that matters to me. I hate people having wrong information. It's a obsession of mine. Well, I don't care what people think about me, and I'm not talking about me. People can think whatever about me. But the fact that people so easily spread just complete bullshit, that's what bothers me. And it's like, I want to just smack the people. You want to yell at the screen, no, he didn't do X. No, he didn't do this. No, he didn't do that. He didn't cheat on you. Don't leave. You know? No, Dan Ridenhour's not a genius. Don't vote for him again. You want to shake him? That's what I feel like I'm doing. I'm watching this play out from an outside vantage point where I'm seeing this unfold. And I'm thinking, oh my God, why can't the people see this? You can't see the other person right behind the door. You can't tell that Mike Jones is a troll. You can't tell that Shireen Wagley, you can't see her for who she is. The people that buy into this, the people that see Sherry Ridenhour get on with her Southern Belle-like accent and post her nice little things and talk about carrying her little dogs with her husband and how Muncie's just a great community and how everything's so wonderful, and you buy into that, I'm like, please tell me you're not that stupid. But at the end of the day, I guess if you are, it's just whatever. Like, what can I do? If people aren't going to share the information, if more people aren't going to watch and gather the information, and if they're not going to get out and do the work for themselves, I never say, here's the gospel according to me, and by God, you better believe it. I say, I've been doing this a long time. I don't tell you that to brag. I just tell you that so you know I'm not some blowhard that just picked up a camera 2 weeks ago. Here's what I'm seeing. Here's what I'm finding out from going to the meetings. Here's what I'm getting from these records. Here's what's happened. Here's what I see happening. Now you go out and do your own work. If you believe me based off what I'm saying, thank you. Absolutely. That means the world to me. That you would trust me to trust what I'm saying. I got so much hate, like friendly hate, from the video I did the other day where I came out saying that I was wrong. I had so many of my friends messaging me saying, you went on too much about you being wrong. I said, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I did that because number one, for nearly 2 years, I talked about Ridenhour buying this land without any approval. So for the love of God, if I can talk about him doing wrong for 2 years, I can spend an hour talking about how I was wrong. But I was setting up the fact that no, technically I wasn't wrong. if you get a little baby, you have a little baby, pop out a little baby out of you, and you've got this little lump of clay in front of you, and you're molding this little lump of clay, and from the beginning this little lump of clay is out there, you're telling that baby the sky is green and the grass is red. When that little baby gets to school and starts telling people that the sky is green and the grass is red, he's wrong, but he's not like wrong. He's not wrong. He was told wrong. He was never told better. It wasn't anything about me. It wasn't even about me. It was about the fact that these idiots perpetuated that belief, which makes them worse. That wasn't me talking for an hour about me being wrong. That was me selling you for an hour about their lack of communication. Their willingness to just set up there. I've said from the get-go to Shireen Wegley, to Lindsay Corey Fink, to Dan Ridenhour, when somebody messages the city of Muncie and says, hey, wait a minute, you guys have done 1, 2, and 3. If Dan, Shireen, if you don't think that they're right saying 1, 2, and 3, you shouldn't get on and tell them that they're dumb or tell them they don't know what they're talking about because Dan is the best thing since sliced bread. You should get on and say, I am sorry that you think that, sir, but that's not exactly correct. Here, let us point you in the direction of what is right. And they then say, look, here's where you can find that, in fact, it is not 1, 2, and 3. It's, in fact, red, blue, and green. It's, in fact, A, B, and C. Get it? So that whole point, stop thinking about that video being about me being wrong and apply the words me being wrong. That's a code. What I was actually saying is they set me up. They didn't communicate. They missed the opportunity to be very clear. And I can only assume, until they tell me otherwise, that they did that for a facetious purpose. They did that to make it seem like, oh, he's always wrong. And I know that because the message has been pretty consistent since that video. Mary Stilts has posted things saying, why would anyone listen to Kristopher Bilbrey? He's talked over the last year. Well, Mary, wait a minute. If you knew that, why didn't you say, wouldn't it have done the same thing if the second day I said, hey, Ridenhour bought this and he didn't tell anybody? Wouldn't she have looked even better if she would have came out and said, oh, Kristopher Bilbrey, you're a dumbass. You don't know what you're talking about. Look, resolution 222. People would have been like, oh, damn, Bilbrey's a dumbass. Mary Stilts knew that and he didn't. Let me tell you why. Because she didn't know it either. Deep down in their little black hearts, they thought what I was saying was right. They didn't know. Maybe Ridenhour knew. Maybe he didn't. But they went back and they researched it and they found, oh yeah, the council did do this. And then they put that out. But the people like Mary Stilts, the people like Troy Tackett, the Lindsay Corey Finks, they didn't know if Dan was right, if I was wrong. They're going to, if a Star Press article came out and said, Dan Ridenhour eats babies. Dan Ridenhour eats babies. Lindsay Corey Fink are going to say, but at least he stopped them from suffering. He did so because look at the world they would have grown up in. Dan, thank you for eating those babies. You were so kind. Those babies could have grown up to get divorced. They could have grown up to, you know,
And don't forget, she probably would also be mentioning that nobody has better baby recipes than Dan
yes,
Ridenhour.
yes. Furthermore, you've never seen anybody cook a baby the way that Dan can. A little taste of butter and salt. Their actions will affect their vote totals. Only if that were true. Only if that were true. It's only right and good to eat babies. If only that were true. Listen, it shouldn't just be the clerk that says that. Their actions will affect their vote totals. We need to say that. Muncie, do me a favor. Go out and vote 78%. Have 78% of the registered voters come out and vote this year. Why don't we do something like that? You know what? You know what we did? At least he doesn't swallow them. Audie. You know what was badass? It was badass when 1,280 people showed up to the Muncie City Council meeting on the 5th of August, 2019. The only thing that would be better than that is if we voted with 78% of the population. Elizabeth, did you see last night's video? Do you know what we're talking about? Did you see what the clerk said to Andrew Pop? Have you seen that? Do you know what I'm talking about? If you don't, I'll message it to you after this. The screenshot. If you haven't seen that, you need to look at that. It's very scary. Okay, good. But we can affect the vote totals too, Mr. Clerk. The citizens can. I will. The citizens can affect the vote totals too. We can turn up in 50% and 60%. And there might even be more to that Pop story. And I definitely understand why you would say that. And there might even be more to it. At the end of the day, I know this for a fact. I know there is a lot of crazy stuff going on with the clerk's office. I know that when I went in and was asking for all the information back in the primary, they blew their gasket at me. I had clerks throwing pins at me. I had them telling me that I wasn't ever going to get records again. I had them telling me that records cost $200 when really they cost 20 cents. All sorts of crazy stuff happening. That's when Rick initiated the policy for the written document, and he told me as such. Yes, Carano. Right? Right. And that's right, Elizabeth. So I just wanted to I didn't have a whole lot to talk about this evening, but I just wanted to let everybody know that, first of all, we're almost through it. We're almost through it. Yes, Audie, it is. Well, short for Richard, but yeah. We're almost through it, but that doesn't really mean anything, because as soon as we're through this, we have like 3 short months, and we kick into an even bigger cluster, which will be the 2024 election season. But when we get through that, then there's a year off. So it is what it is. We do have a busy week ahead of us. And again, I'm just going to ask, for those of you that watch, for those of you that are in Indiana, in East Central Indiana, I want to ask that you help spread the word. Share a link to a show with people. Maybe it's not this show. Maybe it's another show. Maybe it's a specific show that you like, an episode of mine. Please help do that. If you have not subscribed, do so. Subscriptions aren't the end all be all. The viewed and watched hours are what counts, and you guys are killing it on that. So thank you very much. I appreciate you, each and every one. We will be on tomorrow a couple times. Like I said, we'll have a live on location edition during the Muncie City Council meeting. I will then be live tomorrow at 9 after the council meeting. We will have a candidate interview first thing out of the gate tomorrow. That's Norman. She is a Democrat candidate running for city council, city clerk against the current incumbent, Belinda Cardboard Box Munson. So please be on the lookout for that. And that's that. Yeah, nothing in 2005, thank God. As Annie said a moment ago, there was a shooting that occurred up in the Reagan and Wheeling area last night. This is the second type of shooting like this in that area in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's getting kind of out of hand. Don't know anything about that situation, but folks need to be watching what's going on, because people are committing all sorts of different crazy violent crimes out there. So keep your heads on a swivel. First meeting of the ethics committee. What are you talking about, Audie? 26th. Are you talking about the Muncie City Council meeting? Yeah, oh yeah, Charlize. Apparently they shot through someone's home. Like the bullets went into someone's, like, I don't know if it went through the wall or through the windows or what, but it was a scary situation last night. No, there is a city council meeting tomorrow. This right here. Monday, October 16th, 2023 at 7 p.m. So we will be on for that. I will then be on at 9 p.m. and we'll have that. Yeah, that's tomorrow. And Elizabeth said that the ethics committee will meet at Mad Jack's. We don't know if that's meeting is open yet or not, but we'll have to find that out, and we will go from there. The Yeah, it is tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. Um, yeah, that's it. Voter turnout has been high. Voter turnout has been high so far for early voting. So, you know how I feel. I think that people should vote on election day, but if you can't, it is what it is. Yeah, Audie, if you want to pop on tomorrow, we can have you pop on if you want to do that. That would be fine. We can do a barbershop tomorrow. Have a little bit of Audie Barber guest. So, oh well, you'll have to pop on after the candidate interview. But yeah, we can do that. We'll do the candidate interview, then we'll have you pop on. So yeah, we can do that if that's good with you. Norman's interview is only going to be 30 minutes at most. 20, 30 minutes. So we'll have her on and we'll go from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for everything. The postscript tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is you get what you get and you can't throw a fit. If you want something different, you got to get out and work for it. That's the way it's got to be, ladies and gentlemen. Politically speaking, nobody's coming to save you. Politically speaking, nobody's coming to save us. It's on our backs, on our shoulders. It's on us completely. No one is coming to save us. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all very much for watching this evening. We will see you tomorrow, Monday, 7 p.m. here for a live on location look at the Muncie City Council meeting and the vote. It should go pretty quickly. And then I will be back here tomorrow for episode 55. We will be back here at 9 p.m. Until then, we will talk to you later. Goodbye.